Welcome, Jill. Hello, Lauren. You're welcome. Hi, Mama Makini. Hello, I'm Elizabeth. You're welcome to tonight's webinar. So our agreement for this webinar is be engaged and collaborative, be an active listener, be respectful. And our purpose for this webinar is to delve into topics that supports leading and teaching in future-ready, learner-centered communities, sorry. And at Ghana ASCD, we organize free webinars, Saturday PD series, consulting, EdExpress, newsletters, renewed journal, unlock literacy program, our national conference, which is happening this July on the 18th at ICS, that's International Community School, the Accra campus, and our International Educator Summit, which is happening next year, Lord willing. And our mission as Ghana ASCD is that we are an educator learning community committed to advancing collaborative capacity building and strategic partnership that accelerates learning for educators and students. Today's webinar is on tech and AI, and the theme is strategic use of AI and EdTech in education. Tonight, we have Miss Benita Godin and Jeremy Aqua. Miss Benita is the founder of the Global Educational Concierge. She's got over 24 years of experience in educational technology and community voice. And Jeremy Aqua, a robotics and AI educator, he designs learner-centered programs that blend emerging technologies and community-driven impact. Welcome, Ms. Benita and Jeremy Aqua.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, excited to be here. Yeah.
Oh my God. We are excited to have you all for tonight's webinar. So, Ms. Benita and Jeremy, you can take over now. Who is going first? Is it Ms. Benita or Jeremy?
Benita will go first, then I'll come later.
Okay, that's fine.
You saw me. I was like, Jeremy, what did we say? Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm gonna say overseas and here in the States. I'm gonna share my screen and try and get it to the correct starting point. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so one of the things I love to say about using AI, and Jeremy's going to do mostly AI, but using ed tech, because a lot of ed tech has AI engaged, it's already part of it. And we want to design the learning, but not chase all these tools. There are so many tools out there. We don't need them all. We don't want to use them all. We want to focus in on the ones that, one, work best for us, two, work best for our students. And then we want to perfect the use of those, right? So we want to not chase the tools. We want to design the learning for the students that we have in our class. So we want to remember that technology does not transform learning, right? Strategy does. So we want to make sure that whatever ed tech tool we use, we learn how to use it inside, outside, upside down. We also want to make sure that we're communicating with the ed tech company about what works best and what we need. A lot of times ed tech companies adjust and create according to what the educator's feedback is. Even if they don't ask for it, I still send them an email. I still go into their help. I still say, hey, if you could adjust this, it will make it run smoother for those of us who are using it. So never be afraid to say that. Use their social media. If you're going to blast them, send them a DM. But if it's going to be something great, put it on their social media so they get to know you as a user, as an educator, and then it gives you extra points. So one of the things you want to do is solve real learning problems, increase access, strengthen instruction, and build future-ready skills. We are looking for our students to go into the 22nd century. We're in the 21st, it's almost at the end. And remember, it's moving, AI and ed tech, it moves so quickly. It moves quicker than our phones now. You know, normally we get a new phone every year. Well, I don't, but they put out a new phone every year. Ed tech is every 3 months is something new. AI, I feel like AI is every 30 days, they've added something new and important that I need. So don't keep up with the trends. Don't worry about the trends. You can't keep up with it. It's moving too fast. Stick with 1 or 2 ed tech tools that you can use in your classroom. And we're going to talk about them and we're going to perfect it. Inside that ed tech tool, they will switch it and you'll just learn something new. Don't worry about keeping up with the trends. All right, these are the 4 questions that I always want us to think about and answer when we are looking to what ed tech tool we want to use in our class. Remember, I said 1 or 2. Learn those inside and out. Make sure your students can use them without you. And then once they do that, I introduce a new ed tech tool, but I never do more than 2 at a time. 1 is overwhelming for me as the educator, and 2 is overwhelming for our students. And then also depends on the type of technology I have access to. Can my Wi-Fi handle us all on here at one time? Sometimes my Wi-Fi can't. And do I have enough laptops or computers so that we're all, or do we have to do stations, or do we have to do it in groups? And so that's why I want us to look at these 4 questions. Question 1, what problem are we solving? And after this, I will have some lessons ready for you, already done some mini lessons. I'm going to share them with ASCD Ghana so that you can just click on it. They are yours to use in your classroom. What problem are we solving? So I have an English background. So if I'm trying to get my students to write complete sentences, or if I'm trying to get them to do an argumentative essay, what skill am I looking for? Who benefits the most? Am I trying to hurry up? Hey, am I trying to hurry up and get them to learn this skill because it's something that they know, but I want to strengthen it? Or is it a skill that I need to take 1 step at a time and they build up? What does that look like? Instructional practice changes, and how will I know it worked? What is the assessment? What is the evaluation, the motivation, the engagement? How will I know that this ed tech tool is enhancing the teaching and learning of myself and my students? Because if it's not, why am I using it? It's just wasting my time. If it doesn't work, stop and don't use it. Don't struggle through. Find something else. I said so many ed tech tools. So let's talk about them. 3 strategic roles of AI and ed tech: to access the infrastructure, learning design practices, and once again, future-ready skill builders. So your foundation is going to be wisdom, because we are the professionals. Equity, because we want it to be across the board in our classroom. It needs to be something that every student can grasp and manage and maintain independently and dependently. Human-centered design. We never want to take the humanness or the human touch out of anything we're teaching in education. Even though we're using AI and ed tech, it still has to be that human piece to it. And purpose. What's the purpose behind us using this? Why are we doing this? We're not doing this just to say, I'm using ed tech in my class. We're doing this to educate, to engage, to strengthen. That's why we're doing all of these things. Okay, so to access infrastructure, we want to remove barriers to learning. That is why I use ed tech. Ed tech helps me remove barriers for learning. In the US, I taught in schools where I had students on every level of reading in my class. I had students who they were new to America and English is their 2nd or 3rd or 4th language. I had students who were coming in and English was their 4th language. I need to meet them where they are. I had students who had learning disabilities, or they had to they needed more time to process and grasp the information. So I needed tools that were adaptive. That means once they got this right, it would take them to another level. But if they got this incorrect, it would go back and help them repeat and understand for learning, or it would break it down for them. Did they have libraries? Did they have translation tools? Were the translation tools accessible? And then LMS. Every school doesn't have LMS, depends on what school you're in. These are the examples. These are my go-tos all the time, even when I'm teaching online. Khan Academy. Khan Academy has a free version and they have a paid version. Start with free, okay? IXL. IXL, every student every day can get 10, I think it's up to 10 questions free, especially for math. Free version. Google Classroom, free. I'm doing free stuff. Microsoft Immersive Reading and Read and Write, or Reader and Read and Write. That is for my students who, yes, free. That is for my students who, when I was saying that English was their second, third, or fourth language, a lot of times I would say it in your native tongue. That's what I always tell them, because that's native tongue is the one that it flows. And then we are able to translate it into English once they get it out. Because in writing, I wanted them to get out what they needed to say in their native tongue. And then we would use EdTech to help translate it into English. And then we would work back. So they would use EdTech a little less every time. And I know you're like, less? Yeah, but that was for a specific, when we talk about what barrier are we working on. Application. Students work on personalized practice while teachers are in small groups. This is when we say, okay, I want to work with this particular set of students who may be my students who did not understand this particular thing. When we did the assessment, my other students can carry on with the work. So I may put them on Khan Academy and IXL, but I'm going to do the human part, and I'm going to sit with my small group and we're going to discuss, I'm going to teach, and we're going to go back and forth. All right, student support teachers as designers of learning. So you are the leaders. You are helping guide and lead the learners, right? EdTech is another helper. It's helping me. That's what it's doing. So you have AI assistants. Jeremy's going to get into that. You have interactive lesson platforms. That's when we can use different EdTechs to give us the lesson plans or help us unpack a lesson for a student who is still struggling. Content creation tools. I use Canva to help me do some content creation, but there are other tools we can talk about some more. And collaboration tools. What we're doing right now is a collaboration tool. We're on this webinar all across the world, and we're in here doing this. And we love Canva, and Canva is free for educators. And if they don't let your account, if your account doesn't end up being free, you can email Canva with proof that you're a teacher, you're an educator, you work in education, and they will give you a free account. All right, so examples, ChatGPT. I'm not going to go into that because Jeremy's going to go into that, but ChatGPT is another great EdTech tool. I know it's AI, but it's an EdTech tool also. It helps you with lesson plans. It helps you if you're stuck or struggling. I have used ChatGPT really quickly and said, hey, I've taught pronouns. They still aren't getting it. Give me another angle. And then sometimes I download what I have done. And it says, have you thought about teaching it this way? The kids got it. I was like, wow, really? And so Nearpod is another EdTech. Nearpod, you can set it up to include YouTube videos. You can include, if you have done Slash or presentations, you can include that in there. You can include so many different things, and Nearpod is also free. Nearpod can be downloaded and you can set it up. You can do it together as a class, or you can set it up for your students to do it independently while you're working with another group of students. And then the last one is Padlet. That's my Southern accent. Padlet is another EdTech program that is free. You can use to get students to answer the questions as a group, or once again, you can use Padlet in Nearpod, and you can give them questions and they can give you the answers and they can go through independently. So remember, we're doing EdTech so that we can have students do things independently, or we can do it together as a class. Teacher uses AI to draft a lesson plan, right? Then you revise it for student needs and context, and it helps you figure out what ed tech app or website is going to be best for that student. All right, I'm looking at my time. Okay. So here are the goals that I use for future ready skill builders. Writing and communication never gets off the list. It's always going to be first on the list. We want to globally educate our students to take over the world. We want you to run it. And so I have to continue to make sure you know how to write and communicate. Next, research and inquiry. How are you researching? Are you the researcher? How are you answering the questions? Critical thinking, never going to leave the list. And even though we are using ed tech, these are things that this is the human part of it. We're going to constantly use this. Digital literacy, because it changes so quickly. We want to make sure that they have the terminology down and the basic understanding, and then they can build off of that. And then collaboration. For example, Google Docs. If you haven't used Google Docs, I know we use it at ASCD Ghana for meetings, when we're getting ready for a conference, when Jeremy and I were getting ready for this, we were like, what do? We're going to collaborate. No Red Ink is an amazing program. It's also free, but they do have a paid version to help students do creative writing, targeted writing. They can use No Red Ink and Google Docs together, so I can actually sit there and grade or help them edit their papers while they're actually in Google Docs. Once again, Padlet and ChatGPT. So we're building transferable skills. What does that mean? That means if they want to be a doctor, if they're going to be a lawyer, if they're going to be a teacher, they're going to be an entrepreneur. Everything up here, these are the transferable skills that they're going to need across the board. They do not leave. Writing and research, critical thinking, digital literacy, collaboration, doesn't matter what job. My dad was a mechanic here in the US. All of those things a mechanic needs. If you're a pilot, all of these things you're going to need. So they're transferable. We're teaching them in the classroom. They have to be able to transfer to all of the jobs, and even the jobs that we don't even know exist yet, because technology is changing the job atmosphere daily. Okay, I think I'm almost done. Implementation and guardrails. Now, with everything that's happening, I don't want educators to be scared of AI, and I do not want you to be scared of ed tech. I want you to hone in, look at the ones I'm offering, start using one or two in your class, do it for the whole year, do it for the whole semester, with however you feel and however your students are mastering it. And then you can move to the next thing. We want to use clear AI usage guidelines for you, for your state, for your Department of Education, okay, for your city, for your county. Teach the guidelines, citation expectations. We are still writing MLA, APA, we're still writing. If it's not your words, you still need to cite your source. I'm still teaching that. Privacy protection. We're not going to put all our information into AI or into ed tech. We're still going to protect ourselves and protect our students. Ethical use conversations. Once again, it's about protection. We do not want our students to be in an unsafe environment when we're using AI and ed tech. So we're always going to make sure the barriers, the guidelines are in place, and they know. If you don't know who you're chatting with, we don't chat with them. How did they even get in here? Kicked out, right? We're like that on Zoom. I had to fill out the registration and then I got a link, right? So there, we're going to monitor and protect all the time. Ethical. We're not going to steal anyone else's work. We're going to cite where we got this work from. We're going to make sure it is correct information. And then as educators, we're going to do ongoing professional learning. So here's the key point. We don't ban AI. We don't ignore AI. We are not scared of AI. We use AI on a daily basis, right? We don't even know it sometimes, but we use AI on a daily basis now. We teach responsible use because our students, they are the 22nd century students. They are the students who are going to come up, who are coming up. I told somebody the other day, I said, I don't even know if my little cousins have ever felt cash money because their parents use Apple Pay, their parents use everything. Even now, I send my nieces and nephews who are in college Apple Pay, or I send them money on Cash App. So I don't even like the concept of real money is leaving us. So we have to understand that everything's evolving, everything's moving, everything's changing, and we don't want to stifle our students' education. We don't want them to be, we want them to be safe. So we're going to put all of the practices and guidelines in place. All right, start with vision, not vendors, right? I noticed I said, these are the ones we're gonna use. We're gonna define outcomes, pilot small, which means 1 or 2 ed tech applications or websites, not all 15, not all 500. You're gonna gather feedback. You're gonna constantly ask the students, do you understand how to do this? Do I need to change it? And you're gonna also think about your feedback that you wanna give to the company. Support teachers and scale what works. Culture before your platform. And as I get ready to wrap up, here we go. Don't be afraid of technology. Be afraid of using it without wisdom. One of the things I always tell my teachers, and I always tell myself, the kids we teach, they are smart. They come out ready to work and to learn, and they want it. I feel intimidated sometimes by that. I feel intimidated learning new technology. They had to teach me about social media. I feel intimidated sometimes about, yes, I feel intimidated. I'm going to answer that. That's a good question. I feel intimidated sometimes about even just using my phone. But I have the wisdom to understand how to research. I have the wisdom to get professional development like you're doing now. I have the wisdom because I'm just older and I know how to learn and research and do things. And so that's what I don't want you to be afraid of. The goal is student first schools. That's the human part, student first, using AI and ed tech technology. And we are being strategic. We're not going to inundate. We're going to use it strategically to strengthen the learning environment and to prepare our students. Oh, I love that. I love that. I see y'all in the chat. Yes, thank you. They are wired, and we're just going to give them those boundaries and those guidelines. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. This is so insightful. We really appreciate it. And my keyword is the goal isn't AI first school. The goal is students first schools using AI and EdTech strategically. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions, you can leave it in the chat box. Next is Mr. Jeremy Aqua. Over to you, sir.
Shit. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Please, can you all hear me? Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
please, we can hear.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and share my slides. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so thank you so much, Benita, and for laying the foundation for my section. And I'll just go straight into it as to some of the AI tools that are currently being used in education and some of the ones that I've personally tried, and also do a quick live demo of some of the cool things that you can also do with some of these amazing AI platforms. So yes, so AI tools in education, top on the list for me is with ChatGPT. Yes, and I know most people are very familiar with ChatGPT, so I'll not go much deep into that. And the next one is with a Notebook LM, which is one platform that I really enjoy to use. I don't know, can you show in the chats with a thumbs up if you've used Notebook LM? I want to see some reactions, but Notebook LM, anyone? Okay, so I'm not seeing any reactions yet, but I'll still move on. Yeah, so Notebook LM is more of like a personalized AI that helps you to like learn your stuff from the notes that you've made personally. So let's say you have like a rough sketch of some personal notes you took from a meeting, you can just insert it into Notebook LM and you just have like a detailed conversation with it. And it's actually like it has different features. You can have like this voice feature where it's able to like recite your notes to you and also like ask questions from the notes that you've made to you so that you can engage it more. And the next one is with Napkin. I don't know how many of us have heard of Napkin, but I recently chanced on this too, and I was completely blown away. It's so amazing. And this evening, that will be the live demo that I'll be doing. I'll be doing it with Napkin. I initially wanted to do it with Notebook LM, but I realized that Napkin is going to be the best because I think most educators don't know about Napkin. So the next two also has to do with GradeScope, which is also an AI-assisted grading platform that accelerates marking and provides analytics. So let's say you are marking a lot of scripts, but then you don't have enough time to mark all of them. So you can mark a few, and GradeScope like helps you to give like a detailed remark on the other papers, like based on like pictures that you insert into it. Yeah, so that's what GradeScope does. And there's QReport too. QReport is more of like a lesson creator. So if you're an educator and you want to like plan your lessons ahead of time, QReport is also a platform that can help you to create lessons for the courses that you teach. And Canva too, I'm sure most educators use Canva, so I'm not go much into it, but Canva too has some cool AI features that you could explore to enhance your teaching and learning in the classroom. And Perplexity AI, sorry, is also for AI research. So Perplexity is able to give you more detailed stuff when it comes to facts and references. Yeah.
Hello,
So that's
hello. Sorry
about
for the
hello.
interruption. We hardly hear what you
Yeah.
say, please, sir.
Hello.
Move closer to the
Am I
move closer to the
Your
audible
audio is
now?
microphone.
very low. We hardly hear you.
Hello. Hello. Is it better now?
Yes,
Yes,
Hello.
that's
better
better.
now.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So these are my top AI tools that I use personally, and in a few minutes, I'm going to walk you guys through one of them, which is Napkin, and how you can use Napkin effectively, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you.
Yes, perfect. So Napkin is also a cool AI tool that you can use to do amazing stuff. So imagine you have just a piece of text or just an idea, but then you
I
want
think the
to
issue is from the speaker. We can't still
put
hear you,
more
sir.
visuals.
Mr. Dowda, please, if you have any questions, kindly put it in the chat box, please. Or prompt us, we would tell him, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So is it better? Hello.
Jeremy, I can hear you, please.
Okay. Yeah, so Napkin is basically a tool that helps you to put more visuals to things that you imagine or want to do. So I made a list of prompts, and also before that, engaging with AI tools demands that you prompt it well so that you're able to get some form of um some best response from like something that you expect. So I put a list of prompts together as to some of the things that I would want Napkin to do for me. So the first one is to create a detailed visual lesson plan for teaching fractions to grade 5 students. Include objectives, materials, warm up, guided activity, independent practice, assessment, closure. Make it visually clear and easy to follow. So this is my prompt. I'm going to copy it and paste it into Napkin and see what Napkin does for me. Yeah.
Jeremy, will you share your screen with us?
Yep. I'm sharing. Yeah. Please, can you see my screen now?
We see the slides.
Okay.
So others haven't seen what napkin looks like. So if you could show us what it looks like, we would be glad.
Okay. Please, can you see my screen now? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah, so this is the interface of Napkin. Yeah, so basically when you go into Google, just type Napkin, you create an account and it brings you here. So there are 3 options. So you have using the text format, that's if you have a text, and this one is if you just have an idea and you don't like have it fully fleshed out, but then you can just insert that over here. And the last one has to do with if you have personal files already, but then you want Napkin to make it better. Yeah. So I'll go in for the very first one, which is pasting my text. So I click on it, then it asks me to paste your content to summarize with a visual here. So I'll paste. Yeah. So this is my prompt. Yeah. So this button is used to create the visual that we want. So I click on it and the magic happens. So yeah. Yeah. So it gives you a lot of suggestions and you are able to go through each and every one of them and also edit them as well. So let's say if I select this very one and I come here, I'm able to edit. So if I don't like the font size, I'm able to edit it to Arial. And if I want to change the layout to, I can do that here. Yeah. So let me choose this. So yeah, this is a tool that I recently chanced on and I think it's pretty cool and it can help you do some amazing stuff. Aside just ChatGPT, I believe this is also a cool tool that you can explore. I'm personally still exploring it. So yeah, it's able to give you more visuals instantly with just quick prompts. So it's just giving a roadmap on how to guide students, teaching grade 5 students on fractions. Basically that. Yeah, so that's it for Napkin and I'll just wrap it up. Yeah, so
Thank you so much, Sid. This is very interesting. Kindly drop your questions in the chat box and we could continue, please. So we have one question from Mami Makini. She says, are there any AI software apps that we recommend over others? How do we determine what is best for our students?
Yeah, so personally, there are lots of them. Benita said there are lots of them, but I think the personal ones that I've used that I would recommend is these, the ones that I showed. I come just a second. Yeah, these are the ones that I've personally engaged with, and I've realized that they can help you and they don't like hallucinate, if I should put it, like give you out of the box answers. And how to determine whether like these AI platforms are actually good enough for our students. I believe it's not like a one size fits all strategy, but then even with ChatGPT, when you're engaging it, sometimes it gives you feedback that it may not be sure of the information that it gives, so you'd have to cross check. So for me, I'd say it's not a one size fits all platform, like even with the ones that I've listed, but this is just to guide you to reduce the stress and to just give you some form of roadmap. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Jeremy said. I always say the best one to use is the one that you feel most comfortable with first teaching. Cletus, you took what I was about to say. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I literally was about to say that. One of the ones I started using first, and one of the ones I tell my teachers to use first, it's somebody just put it in the chat. Thank you. And I literally was gonna say Magic School AI. If you have elementary age, and so elementary for me is pre-K through 5th grade, I love Magic School AI. That I would start with first in class. Can you answer these 4 questions of Magic School? Okay. And then going up. Yes, I can. I can do that. And then going backwards, or going higher grades, I would do everything. And all of the ones that Jeremy has on the screen, I would use for 6th graders through 12th grade.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? Okay.
Dr. Adams asked so we have one question from Baba. He's saying, is Napkin an app that we can download from the Play Store?
So currently, I don't know if they have an app version of it, but what I know is now live on the website. It's a web app, yeah. So it's available on like as a website, not as an app yet. Yeah.
And one last question, is Napkin primarily for visuals?
Yes, for visuals, mainly for visuals.
Is it a free platform or?
So there's like ChatGPT, there's a premium version and there's a free model. And I think the free model helps you to create some cool stuff too. So no need to rush in for premium. You can still explore the free options to do some cool stuff. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but we would have loved to see how Great Scope also looked like.
Okay. I could bring it up.
Wow, you are bringing it up, Jeremy. I'm going to answer, what are some practices you use with students to keep them safe when using AI? So one of the things we have to do is to make sure that we kind of have a culture and understanding in the classroom first of what responsible technology use is and what it is not. Why are we given this access to you to be ready in the society that we're working in? And how do we keep you safe? What does that look like? And I always remind my students, technology in school and maybe your personal social media, we have different guidelines. They should be the same, but here at school, I think our guidelines are a little stricter. We're not going to chat with people we don't know. We're not going to put personal information into the AI or the chat or anything. We're doing strictly school-based. We only, a lot of times I make them create a school email or the school gives them an email. We only use those emails for any of this information because you are still underage. You're still a child. And we want to make sure that they are staying within the guidelines for our safety, for their safety. And so we make kind of like AI rules or ed tech rules, also about taking responsibility for work that's not yours. I teach them how to cite. I teach them how to even say, you know, ChatGPT helped me draft this, or ChatGPT helped me refine this work. They need to let me know. And I think that's very important to put those guidelines and talk to your students. We underestimate them sometimes and we should not. They literally know what they should and should not be doing, but we need to get them to say it out loud. And sometimes we need to post no more than 5 guidelines so they can look up and remind themselves, oh, nope, can't do that. Let me go backwards. So I think that's necessary to have some guidelines up and to discuss them together to create a safe environment.
Great. And one last question. Benita, please, were you saying something? Okay. One last question. What are some practices you use with students to keep them safe when using AI?
I think she just answered that. So
Yeah, that's the one I just answered because I was waiting. Oh, Jeremy was going to pull up what he needed. You're okay.
yeah, so I just want to wrap up with these few thoughts and yeah. So just quickly going over some of the best practices in that we could have in mind as educators when we are using these platforms. So I put to maximize the impact of AI and EdTech, educators should start small by piloting new tools, prioritizing ongoing professional developments like what we are having now, and actively collaborating with tech experts and peers. This approach fosters a supportive environment for adopting innovative solutions, ultimately enhancing teaching and learning experience for all students. Yeah. And next up is the potential growth of educational technology and AI is forecasted to grow to 6 billion. And we as educators need to get on board by leveraging these platforms available to us to make our work easy. And next steps, explore, experiment, empower, and connect with us. So I'm leading a firm now called STEM Powered Incorporated, and it's basically a firm that's seeking to bridge the gaps that are still in our STEM space and education space through community empowerment and active research. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time, and I'm available to, the name is Jeremy Akwa. You can reach out on LinkedIn and we'll take it from there. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akwa. This is so insightful. If you can stop sharing your screen, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So I would like to invite you all to our next webinar. That is on the 19th of February. That is on the 19th of March by Mr. Kwame Safo-Mensah on culture and learning. Lord willing, next week, Saturday, we have our conference coming up on Power Up Your Pedagogy, which is happening at ICS Accra campus. Details will be sent to you via email tomorrow. And in the chat, I'll put the registration link in the chat so you guys can register before the webinar comes to an end. And please join Ghana ASCD community. When you go on the website, we have the membership side. You click on it. If you have any difficulties, you can email eado.ghascd@gmail.com or info.ghascd.org, and we would send every details or whatever help you need. We would send that to you. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we would see you same time next month. Bye-bye.
Right, thank you. This
Bye-bye.
Ew.
Is it okay?